Welcome back to The Explainer. So today we're traveling thousands of years back into the heart of ancient Mesopotamia to uncover, frankly, the ultimate mythological weapon. I mean, forget magical swords or glowing orbs for a second. We're talking about an artifact so unbelievably powerful that it dictated the very fabric of reality. Literally, an object the gods went to war over. We're going to examine exactly what this artifact was, who held it, and how this kind of surprisingly bureaucratic concept became the centerpiece of some of the earliest, greatest epic poetry in human history. All right, let's just jump right in.
What if a single legal document could completely rewrite fate? Seriously, I want you to really think about that for a second. It's kind of the ultimate human fantasy, isn't it? Having the power to just sign a piece of paper and completely alter destiny. Well, in Mesopotamian mythology, the stakes were incredibly high, because this wasn't just some abstract metaphor. This was an actual, physical item that granted whoever held it absolute supreme authority over the entire universe. It was basically the ultimate trump card in the mythological world.
Okay, let's dive into this by clearing up a pretty major misconception right off the bat. The actual, correct translation for this ancient artifact is the Tablet of Destinies. That is singular tablet, plural destinies. You'll actually see it written a lot in general writing and pop culture as the Tablets of Destiny. But, well, that's grammatically incorrect. It's a single object holding the multiple destinies of the universe. I know it sounds like a small detail, but hey, when you're dealing with the literal course of fate, accuracy definitely matters.
Section 1. Defining the tablet, a bureaucratic reality.
So the crucial point is, in Sumerian, this was known as the Dub Namtara, and in Akkadian, the Top Shimatu. But let's really look at its actual definition. You know, it's not described as some glowing, ethereal, magical item. No, it is a permanent legal document. In these mythological texts, possessing this specific piece of documentation is exactly what conferred supreme authority onto the god Enlil, officially establishing him as the ruler of the universe. His sheer aptitude as the greatest god gave him power over all the other gods, and it was all completely codified by the single piece of ancient paperwork.
There's just such a humorous contrast here, right? I mean, how did the ancient Mesopotamians envision the ultimate power in the universe? As a physical clay tablet, one inscribed with standard cuneiform writing and officially stamped with cylinder seals. It is quite literally a standard ancient legal contract. But then you read that final capability. It grants the bearer the ability to transform present circumstances back into their original state. It literally redefines the course of fate. Just imagine signing a standard real estate contract, but instead of getting a house, you get the power to bend time and reality to your absolute will. Wild, right?
Moving on to Section 2. The Great Bird Heist, a mythological chase.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the fascinating contrast regarding who actually owns this thing in the first place. Over on the left, we've got Enlil. In general Mesopotamian myth, Enlil holds the tablet as the undisputed supreme ruler. But look on the right, and we have a completely conflicting account. In the Sumerian poem titled Ninurta and the Turtle, it's actually the god Enki who holds the tablet. And in that specific text, the tablet resides with Enki way down in the Abzu, which, if you're not familiar, is the primeval sea located between the void space of the underworld, known as Kur, and the earth above, known as Ma. So different texts, different starting locations, but they both actually lead to the exact same epic crime.
And that crime sets off one of the absolute greatest chases in mythological history. Step 1. A massive bird, known as Mdugud in Sumerian or Anzu in Akkadian, swoops in and just completely steals the tablet right from its original owner, throwing the entire universe into absolute chaos. I mean, the ultimate power over fate is suddenly in the talons of a giant bird. Step 2. The hero god Ninurta steps up, tracks down the bird, and fights to recover the artifact. And finally, Step 3. Order is restored. Ninurta successfully reclaims the tablet and it's safely returned to Enlil. It's this incredibly fast-paced, high-stakes epic where the very fabric of the universe is just hanging in the balance.
Section 3. Let's move to and see how this builds in the clash in Enūma Eliš, a cosmic war. So, the Tablet of Destinies ends up being this major driving device in the legendary Babylonian epic, the Enūma Eliš. In Phase 1, the primordial goddess Tiamat takes Kingu as her consort and bestows this ultimate weapon, the tablet, straight to him. Then in Phase 2, Kingu immediately uses this immense power to take full command of Tiamat's army. The stakes here absolutely couldn't be higher. But then we hit Phase 3, which is the rise of Marduk. Marduk goes to battle, utterly defeats Kingu, who, by the way, is also spelled with the Q in some translations, just as a quick heads up, and he violently seizes the Tablet of Destinies for himself. And by taking the tablet, Marduk doesn't just win a battle, right? He claims absolute, undeniable dominion over the entire universe.
Section 4. Ancient to Modern, Historical and Media Ties.
This is where the Tablet of Destinies crosses the boundary from pure myth into tangible, historical reality. The whole concept of the tablet is specifically referenced in a real, physical artifact that you can literally go visit today. It's in Text B of the Sennacherib inscription. This specific copy is written in Neo-Babylonian script, preserved on tablet K6177 plus 8869, which currently sits right in the British Museum. You see, kings like Sennacherib wanted their names and their reigns associated with that ultimate mythological authority. It really wasn't just a fun story to them, it was a powerful symbol of absolute divine right.
And this brilliantly illustrates how the idea of the ultimate MacGuffin, that one single item that grants total control, still resonates perfectly with us today. For instance, in the multiplayer battle arena game Smite, which came out back in 2014, the Tablet of Destinies is an actual in-game item you can equip for offensive, defensive, and utility stats. And over in literature, the Rick Riordan Presents novel Fury of the Dragon Goddess brings the myth right into the modern day. The whole plot revolves around Kingu attempting to reclaim the tablet to resurrect Tiamat and basically bring an end to all of existence. The names and the stakes are exactly the same today as they were thousands of years ago in Mesopotamia.
So we've seen how this deceptively simple idea of a clay legal document became the ultimate prize for gods, ancient kings, and even modern heroes. Now I'll leave you with this. If you held the Tablet of Destinies, if you had the power to transform the present back into its original state just by holding a piece of inscribed clay, what course of fate would you completely redefine? It is a fascinating thought experiment passed down to us from the very cradle of civilization. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep asking those big questions, and I'll see you next time.